Hey guys, Daniel here for Escaping Network. With everything going on in the news right now, we want you to know that we stand with those out there protesting for change. It's only going to happen if we all let our voices be heard and stand together. This is a very important time for all of us. So if you or someone you know needs help with resources or effective ways to cause this change and ways that we can donate and our listeners can help, please reach out to us at escaping.podcast@gmail.com or on our Facebook or Instagram pages. We stand with you and hope that together we can make this a better place. Thank you, and now on to the show.
By pressing play, you've been transported to a dimension where there will be no apologies given for the ridiculous and random comments made by your host and their guests. Thank you for listening and enjoy the experience. Hey guys,
Well, hello there, friends.
what y'all up to right now?
I meant to say friends, but yes, I said friends.
I hope y'all are ready for this.
Because you know what it is.
It's episode 14 of Yo, where the captions at? Yo, where the captions at? Hey, Roscoe, I got a question for you, nigga. Yo, where the captions at? Where the captions at?
Captions at where they at?
Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Those captions, where they at?
I apologize because the only reason why Kelsey said that was because I knew this was Jesus Walk beat, so I had to help onto that. So apologizes for the first time doing ad-libs onto this bullshit chorus. But yo, welcome to episode whatever.
It's not episode whatever, it's episode 14. And I'm yours truly, Kels for Show, aka Scooby Snack. Joined here with always my right-hand man, my bro host.
You know who it is, Roscoe, aka Shaggy of the Squad.
And helping us always when it comes to the editing, the upload, and keeping this mystery machine on track is the Velma of the squad, that boy, Daniel Rojas.
Welcome, Daniel.
Jinkies, babies. I'm always
Ooh, them Jinkies.
Low-key, they were the top 3 characters anyway.
No diggity, no doubts. And joining us today as a special guest, you heard her here before, and also on the Escaping Podcast, the best podcast in Colorado Springs
ever.
when it comes to all things geek, nerdy, and in between. That would be Michelle No Intro.
Hello.
Would you like to tell the people a little bit about yourself today, Michelle? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I mean, I'm Michelle, and I'm on Escaping Podcast.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And I like to feature myself on Yo, where the captions at?
Yes, and we're always welcomed by your presence, your radiance, your beauty,
Oh, thank you.
and your friendship. And your knowledge. Because women are more than their body, they're their minds too.
Thank you.
Respect them, everybody.
And you know, we always got to thank our bro, Chris, you know, the young scrappy of the squad.
Where Chris with no H, aka one of our special guest hosts. You heard him on the podcast before. Right now we're recording out his crib while we try to figure some things out. So the quality might go up, it might come down, but guess what? It always comes back around. Because this is what we do, baby. Yeah. And right now we're going to talk about what's poppin'.
What be poppin', B?
And what's poppin' is, can I get a 10-tone salute though? For the official retirement of none other than the phenom himself, the American badass, the Undertaker. He has finally said he's done.
Well, actually, correction.
Go
he
ahead,
said
Ross.
he is currently done until Vince throw them stacks at him. He'll
Everybody
be back.
claims retirement until they decide to come back.
Well, the thing is, Undertaker actually officially retired, but the thing is, they got a deal with Saudi Arabia, which gave him mad money. So Vince McMahon just kept giving him mad money to come to Saudi Arabia because the Prince is a fan of the 80s wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a fan of old school Undertaker. That's why he's been here and there. But like technically, he said currently right now that his last WrestleMania match, the last ride with AJ Styles, is his current retirement match until further notice. So this is technically his third official retirement match. But yeah,
What were his first two?
the first two was when he officially lost at WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar from when the streak got defeated. That's when he was supposed to retire because technically he wasn't supposed to lose that match. But Old Man Body came in and basically Brock was like, yo, I hit him with this S5. He ain't getting up. I'm going to get this 1, 2, 3 pin.
And actually, he should have been retired before that. His last match should have been once he beat my favorite wrestler of all time, Shawn Michaels, in that match, which was epic. If he would have went out with that match, that would solidify his career and his streak at the same time.
That was technically the first retirement. Then the second retirement was Brock Lesnar, and now third retirement.
Yeah, if you talk to me, especially about wrestling, you know I say this for years. It's just sad watching him sometimes in these matches, especially at WrestleMania, when they just go on and on. And you could tell he's tired. Like, he fought Triple H twice. And one match was like, bruh, come on, man. Like, Jesus.
Sir.
Why are you doing this? I know you got to get a check, but it was not entertaining as a fan.
If you think that match was horrible, you need to watch him and Goldberg versus in Saudi Arabia.
That's why I didn't watch
where it was 102 degrees and these two old ass niggas ain't out here wrestling because they too
looking like
tired.
melted ice cream in the ring.
They sweating and can't fucking comprehend.
Oh, white lady alligator bags slapping each other in the face.
Yeah,
designing women.
That's
shit.
the only reason why Undertaker came and did this last Raw match because he knew that match was too damn trash to fucking retire to. But he wanted to stop wrestling after that match. But just to pass on and get past this wrestling current stuff, hashtag speak out. We hear you, ladies. Yes, there is a whole sexual assault / man of power surge going on through the wrestling industry. That's why I say hashtag speak out.
Of course.
Fucking
men are nasty.
Progress.
Women too.
Progress Wrestling in UK. Not only are they losing wrestlers, but the whole the behind the scenes, the top heads are being restructured. WWE has let go of Jack Gallagher for his allegations that has happened. A lot of people has lost their belts, been suspended, been let go, or waiting until further investigations. So that's a lot of things that's going on in the wrestling industry right now as well. With outside of Undertaker retiring, is this whole hashtag speak out movement.
We gotta be allies to each other always. And speaking of Last Rise,
yes, we must.
13 Reasons Why has wrapped up after 4 seasons, and it is over. It is done. It is dead, like Hannah Baker and several other characters.
I didn't know why it made it past 1 season.
It really didn't need to make it past 1 because I would say the first season is much watched because it speaks about
the book and the content, even though they changed out how the death happened, but yet
that subject
the
matter needed to be spoken about.
But due to how much the fans have liked it, that's why we got so many more seasons after technically season 1, which was only the 1 book. But I will honestly say this last season I can honestly say if the people and the creators of Pretty Little Liars were to watch how this last season was worked, they could have made at least the last 4 seasons of Pretty Little Liars better. But this is the reason why there's 13 reasons why I took what Pretty Little Liar wanted to do and made it better without magic.
And the thing about the final season of 13 Reasons Why, it's like, it wasn't necessary at all.
Not at all.
But I'm glad that they realized this is going to be the last one. Because they threw so much shit into this final season.
Random shit.
But yeah, it did connect, but at the same time, it wasn't executed properly. It didn't treat the fans like Pretty Little Liar fans. Like, Pretty Little Liars had a thing thinking they was outsmarting the fans. 13 Reasons Why, like, no, we don't get what the fans want, we'll this and the third. Nobody wanted that shit. It was convoluted, and it raised more questions than answers, because the whole series is about a girl killing herself. And if you continue watching the series, these kids framed somebody for murder, and one of them murdered somebody else. So, like, how can I root for you as a good human being or somebody I could model myself after if you doing these said acts, on top of not explaining the mental issues
that were going, like, literally, I'm be honest. Spoiler alert, but I don't want to be a spoiler alert person. But, like, this whole last season, I'm just like, Clay got DID. And I
Will
don't
you explain to people what DID is, if you
The
can?
DID is dissociative identity disorder, aka for us older folks, split personality. But go ahead, Daniel. Hit us with the educational reason of why split personality and DID ain't the same.
Not quite as much split personality as you might imagine. As someone who does have DID,
Yes, please.
That's why I want you to speak on
educate
it.
us, brother.
I can tell you, people like to look at it as you having big arguments with yourself, like Norman Osborn, or
I never looked at
or like in Heroes, where it's another version of that takeover, and
like Siler?
yeah, like
See, I never looked at
schizophrenia.
I never looked at split personality like that.
Right.
I always thought of it as
Schizophrenia is
a
not split
whole
personality
personality in its own self that takes over the body.
For me personally, it's like there's the other people that live up here in my head with me. And like when I was a kid, there was times when I would black out because my dad used to drink a lot and beat the fuck out of me. Then I stopped remembering those times, but I was still conscious. Then I would lose time, and eventually had to come to with the right medications and therapy and everything. Now it's like a round table.
So it's less like Legion, but more like Bruce and the Hulk. If you was
Kind
if
of,
you could
yes,
say.
exactly.
Word.
Yeah, but
Would it be more like split?
No.
No, split up
So,
different personalities altogether.
but yet they were at a table.
simple
But yet some of
timeframe.
them were at a table too, and they knew about each other.
Daniel can speak to that because he actually used that metaphor
Exactly,
before.
and that's something I had to come to terms with. There's different people that we all sit around and have to make decisions because we're the same body, and if one of us dies, we all
of us die. Yeah.
Yo, that shit's crazy. And speaking of other crazy shit,
iOS 14 have just been announced today. Yesterday, as y'all know, usual, we're recording on a Monday. Today is the 22nd of June, aka the third week of June, aka WWDC Day, which were, for those that aren't iPhone holders, when Apple usually announces their new products and their new iOS systems that's coming later on this year to the next year. The things that they have announced with iOS 14 is the fact that now, yes, us iOS users, we know about picture-on-picture from our Android friends, but the thing that's different from us for our picture-on-picture, because I am currently in the developer program, free of charge. Sorry, but I'm not going to say that. I paid this $100 for the annual price. But we get picture-in-picture, and we can size it from medium to large. Large is about the size of 2 towels on the home screen. So that's 2 grids for all of those people that ain't smart. 2 grids, the long length in the long length of, that's how big our screen is. I've worked it. It feels great. But with widgets, now we don't have to take them to our left side of our screen where it shows all of our like little bullshit status. We can now move our widgets onto our regular home screen. So yes, there's a battery widget, a weather widget, the news outlet section, the map. All that can now be moved onto our home screen and put there placeable. Don't
like
know
everybody with a broke
So
phone.
guess what? we gotta tell people. Guess what, lazy America? We even made it easier for you.
We made
I know
it
the
even
Cricket, we've
easier.
been had that
I know,
shit.
but the thing is, the difference between Cricket, I can honestly say the difference that they did now is the fact of the matter is, yes, widgets and them on y'all phones have been all that, this and that, and y'all can customize your widgets, but we made our widgets more, I would say, precise, so it's more home. It's more tone for an Apple phone compared to just like, here goes widgets. Y'all use widgets as y'all wish. Because here's the difference between Android and Apple. As much as Android gets all these advanced stuff, depending on...
Because Samsung is superior.
No, not really. But depending on...
Korea is superior.
Yeah, but
South Korea.
But depending on how your widgets are and whatnot, and depending on your phone model and your setup, your phone could be on the last of the dying breed model of the software system. And if you ain't got a flagship phone from Android, meaning one of the top Samsungs, the top Nokia phones, you're not really getting the best of your features.
Word. And speaking of droids, Android 18 and 17 and Dragon Ball Super manga have been trying to help the Z fighters fight Moro. But guess who comes out of nowhere and defeats Moro?
Who say that word, boy?
Spoiler, Vegeta.
Ooh,
Yes, for all my Vegeta fans out there, Vegeta has finally defeated the big bad and the big bad villain in this current arc of the Dragon Ball Super manga with a technique that Goku couldn't even master himself. Yeah, Goku, I know we train on the same teacher, but I'm a more talented warrior.
Why? Because he got that
technique.
intelligence of a fighter instead of that pure strength as a fighter. And that's why Vegeta is always and will forever be better than Goku. Because why? You don't just go purely fight. You fight the nigga and figure out why the nigga ain't gonna be able to beat you. Knowledge, baby. Knowledge is power in the fight.
And it also goes into him being a Saiyan elite. But they still played my boy Vegeta out in this latest manga because after he defeated the big bad snatched up one of his cronies, absorbed his energy, then took his second in command and literally ate him like a Big Mac, like... He booed him without turning them into chocolates and shit. He just ate them like Michelle's eating a Snicker right now. Just put it all in the throat and let it digest and got all those new powers. He came like, oh, now I'm stronger. Now I got the power. Goku and your ultra instinct.
I try to be so sneaky and it's so good.
You can't be sneaky to a nigga now. I'm looking right at you, yo. You can't spell sneaky without sneak, nigga. But no, it's all good, baby, because Vegeta got beat after the Moro absorbed his
It was worth it.
His subordinate and his second in command. Now he got new form. He one punch like that nigga Vegeta. He down. So now the Z Warriors gotta be like, oh shit, Vegeta just beat him, but then he got strong. Goku got mollywop. What happens next? So now we waiting for the next chapter of this manga to figure out what the hell is gonna happen. Hopefully we can get some type of fusion. Maybe a Gogeta fusion. Maybe a Majin Buu, Goku, and Vegeta fusion because. They set it up,
Hold up.
They foreshadowed the possibility of Majin Buu coming back to foreshadow because Majin Buu, original Kai form, defeated Moro in the past. So now it's kind of like the setup, like what can they do now to defeat him? So that's going to be interesting to see. Just like it was interesting to see that Aunt Jemima has finally been taken down for that racist ass shit it was created for.
There's been mixed whether her history was actually based on racism or
it was based on racism.
It was her. The imagery was based on a minstrel caricature, but then they modeled it after
became into an independent company that she got paid for.
And the thing
not her per se. That lightness was modeled after a real woman. Yeah. But at the same token,
there's two stories to it, but I completely get where you're coming from. But I think a lot of people don't know there's two stories.
Oh yeah, I just found out about the second half too, because Aunt Jemima, the brand has slowly been trying to rebrand anyway. Yeah. So it's not like they just said, I don't know where like. Oh, y'all right about this now? Oh, let me know. They've been slowly trying to get rid of that. But I just found out today that the estate of the actress that it was based on post the racist ass caricature feel some type of way about it.
And low key, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of feel some type of way of the fact that we're losing Aunt Jemima because I've grown up so much to Aunt Jemima that yes, I know it was a racist thing, but it's just like. She got the best. It's the best delicious motherfucking syrup of all time.
It's a hit or miss. If you read the second half of it, and the person that it represented and how she got an independent company, I think in our best interest for it and how we discriminate against things, we need to, as persons, dig into it deeper personally and research things before we say something. And it doesn't mean media does it for us. It means we do it as an individual to get the full history.
Word, because you still can have Aunt Jemima without having the face. But then again, it goes back to the family aspect. Like, can they still get, because I don't know the legalness to it, so can you still get paid if they use the name? Or are you getting paid off that for the face? Because the woman that is based off of post the racist ass coonery of it. Yeah. She used to go around. They was proud of that. Like, yo, I'm a black woman. Nobody black woman. I made a company. Exactly, and I love that. But at the same time, it's like, it's racist. If we was still a better nation, we wouldn't have to have that. So I'm just trying to let y'all know, Uncle Ben. You next. You'll be dead just like the white one. I know. In the Spider-Man comic books. Because your ass was a slave. And that rice is delicious, though.
That's why I say.
That's why I'm having hard problems about Aunt Jemima getting rechanged.
I understand that I'm not black and I'm a co-host on here. But that's why I say, as a public, we need to start doing our own research not depending on the media
Exactly.
who is trying to feud between everybody. Do our own research, realize it, and then say from there what our opinion is.
And also to just finish off the stuff on the WWDC, the WatchOS 7 has been announced, as well as the fact that activity has now been replaced with fitness. WatchOS, for all you people that love to dance, you no longer have to choose other. They have the dance option now because they figured out how to use the watch gyrosphere and where your hands is placed and your heart rate to actually calculate your dancing and
So you really
movement
want to
exercises.
talk about how you can play Dance Dance Revolution?
No,
on your
it's not
watch?
dance. It's not dance. No, it's not dance revolution. Kelsey, no. It's better yet is say you know you ain't always gonna track you like say walking out doing the outdoor
First
walk
of all, I
or
don't like
running.
the government tracking me. any
No,
type
this
of way.
ain't. But this is just to taking care of like your calories and your because technically they say 30
I'm
minutes
trying
of
to be a
work.
fat bottom woman. Let me get all the gains I can get.
Fat bottle. But you know they say they want to tell us like we should at least have 30 minutes of exercising and so many calories burned and at least 12 hours of 1 minute standing up. One of the workout systems is now rowing. I mean, is now dancing, cool out, core like sit-ups and push-ups, and other core fitness systems.
And speaking of transforming your body, talk about other organisms that get transformed. Netflix Transformers War for Cybertron has finally getting a release date.
Ooh,
and
when
it's
is
coming
that?
out July 30th, the day before Umbrella Academy Season 2 is set to drop.
Ooh.
And real quickly, too, because we got other things to talk about. Surprise! The Snyder Cut trailer has dropped with Gal Gadot and her glorious
Oh,
tight
that teaser
body.
scene is so damn good.
teases
Oh, my
dark seed or
God.
dark side, depending on which you
Depending on
reside
where you from.
That has been released. And also, breaking news, guys. Michael Keaton is in talks right now.
For Flash.
No, not just Flash. Ezra Miller's questionable Flash. But not only that, people assume he's playing Bruce Wayne. But no, speculations really are is he going to play Thomas Wayne and the Flashpoint universe to differentiate it from Zack Snyder universe because DC doesn't know
And
what the
which
fuck they're
universe
doing
we're
with
gonna
shit.
choose?
So Bruce Wayne or Michael Keaton's Thomas Wayne could be Robert Pattinson's dad if they choose to go that direction and keep the same Flash, but they might not because Ezra Miller, just like Amanda Heard, is on the cutting blocks because they might not keep them on board because they've been saying some lot of fuck shit in media.
And also that we're getting a sleep app on Watch OS as well in this Watch OS 7.
Exactly.
Nobody cares about Apple.
Shut up, Chris. Knock this out. We gotta finish this episode.
And as always, if you want to check out the music we've been listening to, or you haven't listened to any of our podcasts from Yo Where the Captions At or our special Valentine's Day episode we did, crossover episode we did with the Escaping Podcast, just click on to Spotify and search YWDCA, and we have an official Spotify playlist. And also, always
yeah.
when we share these on Facebook, on Instagram, there's a link to the there's a link to the playlist underneath.
yeah.
So click that son bitch. Enjoy the music. If you don't, we just listen to different shit. But at the end of the day, we're still on the same ship.
We're just pitching you music that we love to listen to, and as well as our friends always ask us what you listening to at this current time and moment. So here it is. What we currently listening to,
No diggity.
no doubt.
Word. And now, yo, we geeking out.
Geeking.
And today, we're going to geek out about a little animated movie that I was really looking forward to seeing in theaters. Because as soon as I saw the trailer, my little black ass hummingbird heart just starts swelling. Mewling, as Loki would say, with emotion. And Dick Dastardly actually said mewling in the movie. But he
Oh,
ain't
he
called nobody
did.
no quim. So I was like, ooh, shit, you ain't called nobody quim. I was waiting for that shit. But yes, we are geeking about the latest introduction into the Scooby-Doo universe. None other than an animated movie called Scoob. Michelle, what are your thoughts about the movie?
I loved it. I think a lot of people were unhappy because voices changed and everything, and I get that, you know. our generation or previous generations grew up with different voices, and that's who we associated with Scooby-Doo. But at the same time, I think they did a phenomenal job, and I love the intro. It was a throwback animated version.
Oh, it was such a great intro.
And it was, I don't want to say Pixar, but their 3D
It's
animation.
fine. Make the comparisons, girl.
Yeah, it was
don't know
their
Elijah
intro
Williams is here.
to a throwback to the cartoon. I loved it.
Yes, and about the cartoon, she's meaning the original, 70s intro.
Yeah.
Where are you, Scooby-Doo, the original intro? Which,
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? So if you're familiar with that cartoon, yes, we don't own the licensing to the song, but it's almost a panel for panel recreation of the intro.
It's not almost. It is.
No, it's an almost. It's not.
There's like maybe two things
That's what
maybe
almost
changed it, but like it's so damn close that like it should just be a damn near.
Yeah.
The important
We
picture
get-
parts are literally still same for same.
Yeah, and it was cute. It was adorable, and it got the job done. Even with you meeting Scoob meeting Shaggy in the
As a
beginning of the
kid,
film, it touched the heart
So,
because
yeah.
Shaggy was a loner. And when he's trying to listen to his playlist, he's pushing random playlists, and they just go into the most lonely, most sad songs. Then he finally goes to this podcast that was trying to tell him how to adapt with being alone and how you should talk, how you should introduce yourself to people to be more social when he's an introvert.
Not to adapt, but to actually encourage him to be more socially and express himself and gain more friends.
And that's literally what I just said.
No, you said the podcast was to keep him introvert.
No,
the
no,
podcast was actually to make him an extrovert.
Because he was an introvert, it's trying
But
to
the
help
thing
him.
is, you
but
said-
podcasts don't make you be introvert.
if you-
It's trying to teach an
we play
introvert.
the podcast.
We-
We got the taste. Play it back, Daniel. For him.
That's literally not how things go.
Play it back, Daniel.
That's
For him.
literally not
I
how
may be
things go.
blind, but I have ears,
All right,
baby.
all right. Go back all the way,
Go
Daniel.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I got it.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull that right back
reset.
up.
Reset.
And
I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up right
Can I
back up.
sing
real quick.
Freddie?
And 3, 2.
so after Shaggy goes through all his playlists and they just letting him hear these sad songs, he goes to the podcast about being an introvert so he could figure out through that how to meet friends because he wants to be friendly. He doesn't want to be an introvert. He doesn't want to be in this show.
Yeah.
He wants to be into the world. And he starts listening to that, which makes it more contemporary to today, the way that we use podcasts and the way we listen to media, because we all have self-help books, but most of them are audio. And for some people, podcasts are the audio medium to help you be better equipped to introduce yourself to the world and people you're not familiar with. And that's what young Shaggy is doing at this time in the beginning of the movie. And even in that first 10 minutes of the film, it's like, wow, you made this character that we all grown up with so relatable at a young age before you even meet his best friend. And then they meet.
But not even though that they meet, it's just how adorable they meet. It's the fact that Shaggy was talking to two BS lumps of sand, thinking just like, you know what, I'm gonna just make friends with these sands and talk to them. And Scooby's not seeing him face to face, but hearing him. And Scoob himself is just like, I feel you. And then he reveals himself, and then Shaggy gives him a good old candy sandwich, and just like, there's a specific type of meat that topped this sandwich off, and lo and behold, Scooby, as a stray dog, stole some meat, was running away from the
Yeah.
beach cops,
And
got
then
it.
he claims them, and they are.
Oh, it's so
yeah,
great.
It is great. And then how they become a team through the haunted house,
Oh,
which
that
causes
The
the epitome of what
greatest.
Scooby-Doo and the group is.
it was more Ghostbusters than the last Ghostbusters film. Not because they were winning,
Yeah.
just because it wasn't that good of a movie, but still enjoyable. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to be on that.
And it's just so great that it's like, oh, y'all give us a time skip, but yet y'all don't tell us how much time skip. We just know that it's automatically Halloween.
Yeah.
Scooby and Shaggy is just out here. The mom still calls Scooby a friend because we know by this time Scooby is now their pet dog, but she calls him calls Scooby Shaggy's friend. They go trick or
Man's
treating,
best friend.
Yeah.
and then it's just like, oh, Shaggy gets bullied by some health bullies. great.
No, they were being.
Oh, they
asses.
were bullies, but they told him.
No, they were being asses. Their parents are vegan on that hell shit. They're just being asses because the shit they told the Shaggy is the shit their parents told to them. Like, you don't need all this candy. You need to eat healthy.
Hey.
So now I'm going to do this to this little kid. We don't know where to take your shit and be an asshole and throw
But
it.
guess what? Who would have ever thought about vegan bullies?
Nobody, because we didn't live in that day and age. We just ate what we wanted. And
I never would have
Did the
thought about
Thigh
bullies.
Master.
I would have never
Or the
thought
Shake
about
Weight.
bullies. Be like, oh, you don't need sweets in your
Or
life.
Which
Tylenol.
I think was a funny throwback to how our society has become.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's dope, too. And I also love the symbolism of when Shaggy was getting bullied. Guess who popped up first in the squad? It was fucking Fred. And
As
guess
you
how he
was.
was dressed? A knight in shining armor. That was dope. Daphne was a Wonder Woman
Yep.
because she was Wonder Woman, and Diana is very empathetic. She's the mother of the JLA.
Elma was
Ruth
Bruce Ginsburg,
Ginsburg.
which
yeah,
is
like
like
which
the
we
most
all know as
smartest,
adults
which is the smartest
with her little
judge
Velma
out the group.
braces. And I was like, y'all did it. Y'all told us all who these characters were, their personality traits, by their costumes. And it's just one of them things like you don't have to sit here and explain to the
We get it.
viewers. We get it. All right, it makes sense. They saw their first mystery, and then we
Kids
fast
don't
forward
get
to the
it.
future.
That's okay. The adult crew did.
Exactly.
The
Then you
true
can explain to your
fans got
kids.
it.
Yeah.
And no, who's going to explain to that's why that's like way too much
It
stuff.
didn't
Like,
need to be.
like, Dad, I saw the movie. You don't have to tell me all this shit. I don't know how kids sound, but fuck it. That's why I'm
Like
having
kids,
it.
Pretty much
kids
that.
ain't here for secret underlying meanings. They here for a good time.
Yeah, and poop jokes, which they got.
Us parents was like, oh,
Us parents.
well, us older folks.
Whoa! Do you want someone to say to the addies out there, or the captors, or what are we calling our fans? The yos. I like yos because it sounds like hoes.
I am not
Addie's
a
as in
parent.
Addie?
No, addies as where the captain's
Where
at. Addies or atters.
But some people might take it as a dictionary, but so hey.
Or captors, but then it'd be like contrary to escapees, but then we're captors. So it's all happening at once. The movie itself was cool. One of the things I enjoyed about it too was the animation style, because there's certain scenes in the movie when it felt like it wasn't a 3D movie. It was actually like real life 3D models. It felt like certain scenes I could pick up the Mystery Machine, or I could pick up the Falcon Fury, or just certain buildings just look like they were
Yep.
real life models.
They did
And-
a phenomenal job.
Oh
with
yeah,
it, I
I've
think.
been gnarly to see in 3D.
To
if
me,
that was a
it
possibility.
didn't feel like a CGI movie because the way that they structured the characters, that like if you wasn't paying attention to the TV and you were bullshitting, just how the story was written, it's just like, oh, this could have been a good live action movie with a lot of good CGI, depending on how the budget is. Like, that's how good Scoob is.
Yeah, Scoob was. It had multiple layers. The jokes were funny. They were very kiddie jokes, but there were some.
But there's so many
real
There were
adult
some
jokes.
jokes
There's
that
so many great
you
adult
and I
jokes.
would get, kids would not get. So kids could still enjoy it, but you and I would get that underlying joke, and it'd be hilarious to us, or we'd be like, eh. But at the same time, everybody, no matter what age you are, enjoys. You could enjoy Scoob.
Exactly, and
Yes.
there's one particular sequence when they're talking to Dick Dashley, and he's like, "Yeah, my name's Dick." Some Dashley, Dick. I was like, "Yo, that's literally a 2-minute Dick joke." Literally, you're saying just Dick, diggity, Dick. I was like, "Yo, y'all don't understand what's going on."
But a lot of people don't realize, like
Yeah.
Richard, Dick.
Yeah, exactly. Then you fast forward after that is the whole scene with them getting pulled over. Velma, Daphne, and Fred, and the Mystery Machine. Then the hot chick comes out, and Fred's like, "Ooh, shit, how you doing, gorgeous?" Then it turns out it's Dick Dashley in a mask, and then as soon as he took that mask off, that Fred was like, "Oh, I got mixed feelings right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this shit." I was like,
And
"Oh,
and it's not
no."
not even just right after that. A few minutes later, after being captured, he's just like, "I'm still confused about how I feel because that was such a good costume."
I'm like, "How
That
do you?
Dick made.
Where the titties come from in that shit? You took the mask off, but you had that little tight little body, and it was."
But this is like the other night when I talked about Mulan and I broke it out.
Exactly. I never thought about it in that way either. But it's like, yo, you don't have to break that shit down for kids, but you have that joke. I'm like, oh, I get that. Because that was me. I was like, hey, Heather Locklear. That's an old school reference. Like, woo, what you doing with all that hair, girl? And it's like, oh, it's a dude. I'm like, oh.
And for listeners who don't know what I'm
Till I
talking
get
about
that
with
mask
Mulan, it means
Yes.
he obviously had feelings for somebody who was a male at the time in the military because he kept making comments about it, then gets upset that it's a female.
Yeah, so what was he really upset
What was
about?
in the mind?
Because if your whole goal is to defeat the Han,
Yeah.
we should just defeat the Han.
Yeah.
Exactly. And even going back
But
there.
he fell in love.
Exactly. And you can't, like I always say, you can choose who you date. You can't choose who you
fall in
love.
love.
Exactly. And that's true as fuck. And I can't say speaking of that because there's no love built in that in this movie like that. And that's one of the things I do like because it wasn't
Love
like,
of
oh, now
friendship.
we're not gonna sit here or go ahead and pair Daphne and Fred or even some
That was one of the
incarnations.
greatest things too.
Yeah,
Is the
right.
fact that there wasn't the known relationships of Shaggy and Velma and Daphne and Freddie. It was just like 4 friends with a dog that they're also friends with. Well, technically, being a group together and just hanging out and knowing each other's routine and solving mysteries together in the van.
Yeah, and then some incarnations of the TV series you asked later on in the series. Then you have like the whole Velma and Shaggy relationships get built up too, which works in a sense because if Daphne and Fred are quote unquote always gonna be the Cyclops and Jean to this shit, you gotta have some rogue gamut shit, loosely speaking, where the geek is attracted to the stoner, quote unquote loser, who's best friend the dog, and then when you have that dynamic, it's like, damn, Shaggy, who you gonna put? This bitch or this bitch? Shaggy's not a bitch, but you know I'm making. But yo, respect to all women out there. I listen to a lot of rap music. My apologies, but it was just like, who you gonna pick? The dog, man's best friend, or this girl that can do certain things that an animal can't do to you outside of Tijuana? Like, what you gonna go with, Shaggy? What you really gonna go with? And that's one of the things too that's always interesting when you go into that dynamic of the squad, which was presented in Mystery and Incorporated, which is one of my favorite Scooby-Doo cartoons.
One of the greatest.
Outside of Pup Named Scooby-Doo and 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. But even with that being said, there's a whole nother layer to this film too, because they let you know that it's not just about Scoob, it's about the whole Hanna-Barbera library, their whole universe, because what they did in this one movie, DC couldn't even do in their whole DCEU universe, and has established an organic cinematic universe where you have multiple crossovers, because in this one movie, not only you get introduced to Blue Falcon and Dynamite, if you're old like us, no offense to people that listen that understand this shit.
We're old.
We know Blue Falcon. We know Dynamite from Laugh Olympics. We know Muttley. We know Dick Dastardly. And Captain Caveman pops up in this shit. And then, because Captain Caveman has his own TV series, it was like Captain Caveman and his Angels. And the black short in his movie was actually based on one of his female sidekicks from the TV series. So it's like they already trying to establish this shit so they could do maybe a Scoob 2, Justice United, or all right, you know Blue Falcon from this. Here's a whole Blue Falcon movie, and we give the origin of that Blue Falcon and how, spoiler alert, because this Blue Falcon, this movie, it's not the OG Blue Falcon, it's his son. So he passed down the lineage to his son, who was basically low-key a millennial. Was like, oh, I want to dab, I want to DJ, I'm scared to be a hero. And Shaggy's like, oh, bro, you just like me. He's like, no, I'm not, I'm a hero. Like, dude, when I was being pussy, you was being pussy right next to me. He was like, oh, then Shaggy, like, nonchalant was like, yeah, I get how your friend moves up to better shit and does this and this, and you feel a type of way, it must be hard to have all that weight on your shoulder. And then Blue Falcon's like, I don't want to talk about this right now. You're a daughter. I'm a slime this way.
Do you think it also opens up room for maybe a wacky racist movie?
Oh, they even, like, that's one of the things, too, like, the Easter eggs, if you look back on, like, the posters, arcades, there's hints of that. Even Dick Dastardly, when you see his, like, lair, there's, like, different cars and shit like that. So, I hope that shit, and Laugh Olympics as well.
But I will say, one of the few great things outside of everything you said in the Hanna-Barbera stuff is the fact of how they actually cultured the soundtrack to blend in with everything that was going on. Like, they started the movie with California Love. I'm just going with how nice they blended the Hanna-Barbera universe into the real world to make us feel like it's a real world, because outside of how good the CGI is and how much like you could listen to it and not really think that they were CGI and they could just make these people live action, the way that they structured the soundtrack placements into the universe and make the universe be like, hey, yes, this isn't our real world, but it could be depending on how you interpret it. Yes, we may have a few talking creatures, but like it's rare. It's not like all of them are. It's like literally Scooby, some robots, Captain Caveman, all of that, and Muttley, but like, you know, Muttley always had his random only grunts. But it just made it so much more of like, hey, yes, it's a world where living creatures are actually their own human being, their own species, and their own beings that also humans can understand and interact to, somewhat a la carte of Dragon Ball. But I will say one of my favorite scenes would be, but yet one of the things that I kind of knock out is how Captain Caveman in the battle on that scene. It's just the fact that as when me and Kelsey talked about it, he doesn't have his cape, and his caveman club at that point forms into an axe that actually has a mouth. But past that, that's one thing I can look past of. I liked how they actually incorporated that Blue Falcon is a generational lineage of a superhero. So it's passed down from father to son, and how the son had to realize like, oh, I don't need to be like my dad, but yet Dino Mutt had to also go into that whole aspect of like, he doesn't have to be like his dad, and him having to come to the term like, yeah, Brian's stupid, but he's his own Blue Falcon. He's not the Blue Falcon I grew up with. And another nice touch is the fact that they was like, oh, the ship is so big that we actually had to get a black woman to control the ship and pilot it. I like that nice little add-on touch to the Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt's crew, per se.
What I like most about that whole dynamic is just shows that Blue Falcon is a better father than Bruce Wayne. Because Batman was never going to let Dick be Batman or Jason Todd or Tim Drake. He's like, nope, I'm going to be Batman until I can't walk no more. And guess what? When I can't walk, I'm going to build a Batman and walk in that hole. And with that being said, Michelle, do you have any final thoughts about Scoob?
No, I think like I've said before, people who are so upset that voices have changed, give it a chance. It's a great film. Don't take it so serious. It's one of the films that in our generation, it's new to our generation and future generations. But for us, it's a kind of a throwback, and I love it, and I think everybody else can love it.
It plays so much good homage. Like, low-key, the only one thing that I kind of was missing, but it's like, oh, there's a little settlements. It's like 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. And that's still, like, a little, they still kind of have a settlement touch to that. Like, because if I could recall right, I want to say the three Cerberus heads was a feature in 13 Ghosts, but
we literally just watched the 14 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo movie like 3 months ago this
13
year.
Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
And I'm sorry about that. The actual name of the movie was referencing was Scooby-Doo and the Curse of the 13 Ghosts. Because in the original series, they never caught the 13th ghost. And I could do a whole podcast about that particular movie. But I'm going to say that for this part of the show called Yo, Check It Out, where we just give you our recommendations for things you can check out if you love Scoob or anything Scooby-Doo. Would you have anything you would like to recommend for our addies out there, our adders, our cacties, our yos for show? Oh, that's what we want to call
Yos
them.
for show.
Y'all is my fans. Y'all are our fans for show. That's who it is. God bless America.
For Scooby-Doo or just in general?
Well, no, for Scooby-Doo. If you like Scoob or Scooby-Doo in general, what would you recommend people check out?
I would like people to check out, if you haven't, the original cartoon series.
Like the OG.
Yeah.
What's New Scooby-Doo? I mean,
I would fell in love with it.
Wait, no, wasn't New Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo,
No,
Where
it's
Are You?
Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And What's New Scooby-Doo was...
What's in Scooby-Doo?
It's the latest one.
Was the latest... Yeah. No, Mystery Inc. was the
No.
No, it was What's New Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, What's New Scooby-Doo is the latest incarnation of the series. Okay, Michelle, I don't want to disagree with you, but I want to disagree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it's my own personal bias because, when I go back and watch those old shows like that and Flintstones, like,
And
I love Seinfeld.
It feels weird
I
with the
love me
laugh
some
can.
dry comedy. I cannot, unless they teamed up with the Batman and Robin or the Globetrotters. Other than that,
Thank you. Them is my only favorite
And
episode.
Don Knotts.
I never watched the Don
Oh,
Knotts
you talking
special
about
one.
Gilligan?
No.
That's
Oh,
not
the
Don
Gilligan
Knotts.
Islands episode
That's
was
not
good.
Don Knotts.
No,
Don Knotts.
Don Knotts was Barney Fife from.
I thought it was the same
Mayberry.
person.
No.
The Gilligan's episode of Scooby Doo was good too.
Lassie? Tim is in the well. What? Was that his voice?
That's not Don Knotts.
Well, you want me to fuck an elephant, right? From the Family Guy's jokes.
No. What?
Yeah. Operation Dumbo Drop.
Oh, he's the one who's like, the brochure said.
The brochure,
that
yeah.
only.
Oh,
Oh, really? Look at those scooches.
Barney Fife. Like, you can shit in jail, but there's no side to this wall. I'm working on my impersonations, guys. Bear with me. All right, Michelle. I love that because you know what? If you fuck with the new, you gotta fuck with the OG.
Yeah.
True,
I love that
true
shit.
that.
What about you, Ross? What do you recommend?
If we still going for recommendations in the Scooby Doo part, I would love to recommend Scooby Doo Mystery Inc., which is the second to latest Scooby Doo joint. Which low key, regardless, the last two Scooby Doos are good. The last one before the Scoob was a chibi version of Scooby Doo. They weren't kids like the kids version that we got
Amy and
years
Mystery
ago.
Incorporated, correct? When they
Yeah.
had the whole murder.
Mysteries Incorporated, the whole murder jump off, and then the newer one, which is technically the Teen Titans Go with Scooby Doo.
That's what's new, Scooby Doo.
What's new Scooby Doo? But
Wait, so you're doing both?
no, I was just informing that people that Mystery Inc. came before What's
Okay, I
New
got you.
Scooby Doo. Even though both of them are good, depending on the way you look at it, but the way I like Mystery Incorporated is the fact that they actually gave us hey, these kids aren't the first kids that were out here solving ghost problems in our town. There was an original Mystery Inc. And then the Scooby-Doo and their crew had to find out about all of that. Find out that that instead of a talking dog, they had a talking parrot, which all still coincide. Instead of it just being a whole white crew, there was a diverse crew with a black chick who happened to be their radio DJ that helped them.
Can you confirm?
Solve their jump-offs.
Can you call her a black woman instead of a chick? Because women aren't birds.
I was talking about the talking animal.
So, for me, I will recommend 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, their original series, because that's my personal favorite series of them all. And then go watch the movie we spoke of, Scooby-Doo, The
and
Curse of the
13
13th Ghost. Because in that series, it was just Scooby, Shaggy, the little Mexican homie, or brown homie, and Scrappy-Doo.
Oh, shit. It started with an M.
And Daphne. There was no Velma. There was no Fred. And Daphne was ahead
Daphne
of the squad.
was driving the wheel.
Yes, she was ahead of the squad. She got her own wheel. And even in that movie, they do a thing because Fred and Velma come in. Fred's like, "Oh damn, girl, you can do this shit yourself." And Daphne like, "Yeah, oh yeah, I'm a strong, independent woman. I listen to Lemonade by Beyonce. I don't need no man. We
Lemonade
got
did come
this
out
because
by
we
that
went on
time.
a whole adventure without y'all asses."
Not a whole adventure, a whole ass adventure, because they got 12 niggas before they was like, "Yo, guys, we need y'all help on this 13th."
Exactly. So that's going to bring our episode to an end. And once again, first and foremost, we want to thank everybody that takes the time out of their day to press play and listen to what we got to
where
say.
these captions be at?
And that's not even what I'm going
My
through.
fault.
We'll get there. And also, always, thank you for blessing us with your presence, because it's always a gift, Michelle, with no intro.
Thanks. I'm glad to be on here.
Oh, we're glad that you're here.
Oh, we are.
Yes, glad with a capital GLAD.
Are
No
we using,
E because we don't own the right.
Are we
for that.
using double D to promote?
No,
the
no,
glad
no, no, we don't.
I'm
That's
just
why I
saying, we ain't
personally didn't say that
copyright.
shit.
We
No,
ain't
no,
getting
no,
in
no.
trouble for that. We ain't gonna.
But
But
what you got to tell the folks real quick, Ross?
Gotta thank everybody that, we were able to, hear us talk, the new people that heard us listen, those of y'all that actually came to listen to either Escaping or Where the Captions at, because we talked to y'all over the week while at the greatest bar ever, Supernova.
Not
But-
sponsored.
Not sponsored. But be prepared, y'all. Cards and us promoting even more heavier on the way. So, when you see either me, Kelsey, or Daniel, you will be prepared to hear from us. Yes, I don't have my own card for Yo with the Captions, but I do have Kelsey and or Daniels for Escaping. And since we are one network, y'all will be getting that as well as us telling you to check out Yo with a Caption. And when we're always giving out these cards, we're always promoting both podcasts and showing y'all where to listen to us at. So we like to say thank y'all for at least even just saying fuck it, we'll listen to y'all. And we will also say we love y'all for even just as like fuck it, we'll listen to y'all. Have great times on y'all day. Have a great week. And keep the fight strong for equality.
Thank you, always. I am blessed. I am privileged. I am so sincere when I say these things. Like, I truly adore all you guys for this opportunity to be here right now. Every day I wake up, it's another day. I could be a better part of the makeup of this world, of the energy that I was put on here to be. And guess what, y'all? Always be you, be one, or be nothing, and stay a yo for show.
And remember,
We out, baby.
and remember, Kelsey's a dick always, ever, and forever. Right, Daniel?